I'm just sitting here getting beautified to shoot one of my segments. While I'm doing that, why don't you guys watch this great Throwback Thursday video. It's chicken breast stuffed with feta and oregano. I mean, it's super old, so I'm like really, really young.
Chicken stuffed with feta, cheese, and oregano is a dish with lots of bold Mediterranean flavor. The first thing I want to do is make a little bit of a stuffing. The stuffing is 3/4 cup of crumbled feta cheese, and since I have it crumbled already, that makes it really easy. But you could just as easily crumble it with using the tines of a fork. Just pull it off of a block of feta. Just combine it into a little bowl just so it's easier to stir together. And a teaspoon of dried oregano. That's about a teaspoon. To your taste. Just stir it until it's nice and evenly mixed. These are skinless, boneless chicken breasts, and what I'm doing is creating a little pocket in the thick end of the breast using a paring knife. Careful, don't go all the way through so the cheese comes out on the other side, but you want to make a nice deep pocket in the breast. Keep it stable with your hand. It shouldn't be too hard. As deep as possible without going through the other side. And then all you have to do is stuff the cheese right inside. You just divide it evenly between all 4 of the chicken breasts. I start out using maybe a little less than I think so that I don't run out in the end, and then I go back and finish it off. I'm heating my pan right now on like a medium low heat just to get it started heating. Because I'm gonna sear these, I wanna brown them really nicely on both sides. And I like to heat my pan before I add the oil. That way when the oil gets in, it heats right away, but doesn't start smoking before I'm ready to add my chicken. I want to get most of the cheese into the pocket, so if a little bit comes out, that's okay. But you don't want too much falling out, because anywhere that the cheese and the chicken touch together in the pan, it might stick and it might get a little bit hard to turn. The last thing I need to do is season these really nice and generously with salt and pepper on both sides. I'm working on a piece of parchment paper. It just makes cleanup a little bit easier, especially with things like chicken that you don't want to get all over your board and can be hard to clean up. It's nice to put down a piece of parchment. Wax paper works just as well if you have that. Just anything that's going to keep it off of your board, and then you can just gather it up and throw it away when you're done. I think my pan is pretty hot already. So about 2 tablespoons of oil right in the pan, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan and get the chicken nice and brown. I'm turning it up to about medium-high. As you can see, it's pretty hot because it is starting to smoke. I like to put the skin side down first. There is no skin on this chicken, but that's the side that's going to be up when I'm serving it. You get the nicest sear on the side that you put down first when the pan is the hottest. So whichever side you want to serve up, and it's usually the skin side, put that in first. And let these get nice and brown. Don't touch them when you first put them in the pan, because they'll definitely stick if you do that. So just leave them until they get a nice crust on them. That's when they're brown, and then they'll turn really easily. That'll take about 6 to 7 minutes per side. So these look like they're just about brown. They are brown, beautiful. And they turn and come out of the pan really easily. That's because I let them sit there without touching them for a couple of minutes. Just let these brown on this side for another 6 or 7 minutes, and then cover it. Turn it down a little bit, probably about a medium heat, and let it cook until the chicken is cooked throughout. Instant read thermometer should read 160 in the thickest part. That should take 5 to 8 minutes more. And that's what I have here. This is really beautiful and cooked through. And the pan has some really beautiful brown bits in it. And some nice juice that I want to use to make a little bit of a sauce. Now, you don't have to do this. It's a little extra step that I'm adding just because it's such beautiful stuff here in this pan. I have a little chicken stock, some butter, and a little bit of lemon juice. Okay. This one doesn't need too much stock because there's already some liquid that's been released from the chicken because it was sitting there for a minute. Scrape up the brown bits with a spoon, and the liquid in the pan will make that really easy. It just starts dissolving all those really nice brown bits. A little bit of lemon juice tastes great with that feta cheese. That was a very juicy lemon, so half a lemon is a perfect amount. And lastly, a little bit of butter. That's going to add some body to the sauce, actually. It makes it a little bit thicker. What I like to do with that is just, over very low heat, swirl it in. If the pan is hot enough, you can even really just turn off the heat and just let it dissolve. If you're swirling the pan, the butter will create its own little sauce right in there with the brown bits. You don't have to do it on the stove because it makes a lot of noise. But see how nice and thick that's getting? That's just from that butter. And that can get poured right over your chicken. It's beautiful. Just a little extra special. Let me show you what these look like on the inside when you cut them in half. It's a really nice presentation if you cut it in half because everybody can see the cheese and everything on the inside. Just let it sit a little bit before you do this because the cheese is going to be really melted. It'll still be nice and warm, but you can see all the cheese is on the inside and it looks succulent and delicious. Besides adding flavor, stuffing the chicken with feta helps keep it moist. Chicken with feta, it's the best of Greek flavors.
Hi guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click here if you want to subscribe and click over here if you want to continue watching more great videos like this.